All right, it is line call time on the stack, and it is big news week for Performance Pickleball, and that now includes Performance Pickleball Roanoke. So, of course, we had to go to our good buddy Tyler Reburn, co-founder of the Roanoke Ruckus. Of course, you've already heard a couple of times, probably one too many, from Tim Cass, and it was fine time we got the actual brains behind the operation with us. I kid, of course, but Tyler, so good to have you with us. We, of course, dropped the news yesterday that Performance Pickleball Roanoke, or PPBROA, as we have dubbed it, is indeed happening. Development starting this summer, completion and opening by the end of the year. Thanks for being with us. What has the reaction been in the Roanoke Valley and in the pickleball community there?
So far, the reaction has been absolutely astounding. Everybody is extremely excited for this. This is the one thing that I think Roanoke has really needed to help grow pickleball in general, but also to bring everybody together to one court system. Well, right now, it's really fractured. We have about 3 different court systems that, depending on where you play, you'll see certain players. Having a central location where we can all congregate will really help.
You, of course, Tyler, have been here to Performance Pickleball RVA. I say here because that's where Joe and I are. You are up in the Roanoke area at the moment. Is there an equal excitement about not just the fact that there'll be that central community center, which, of course, is our ultimate goal, but that it will be of the same caliber as this location here and will allow for so much more in terms of league and tournament play?
Yeah, so for the people in Roanoke that have been to Performance, I think that the expectations are really high. And I think that the people that haven't been don't even have a concept of how cool it is. And the story for me that I keep getting back to is I remember sitting there at the kitchen RVA, watching Tim and Derek play Yusuf and Ryan Kane, drinking a beer, eating some wings. I think my son had a sub. It was fantastic. The food was great. The atmosphere was great. We got to bark at Tim a little bit as he was playing. It was awesome. I don't think people understand how cool it is.
Well, hopefully, in the meantime, they make their way over here to RVA and do see how cool it is. Going back to the founding of Roanoke Ruckus, Tim has told us all about how that got going. But when you guys were talking about establishing that, was there a long-term play into something like this, or did it really become a reality once the RVA location opened up and gave you guys a sense that, oh, this can actually be something that we do in our area too?
So when we first came up with the concept of the Ruckus, it was last February. And we were at a tournament, and there was another group there that probably had 10 people that just traveled to each court and followed their players. And it was obnoxiously annoying trying to beat them because it's like you're fighting a home team crowd. It was horrible for us. And when we got back home, I called Tim and I said, there's no reason that we can't do this. We had more players at this tournament than these guys. We just have to, unite all the tribes of Greece and get everybody together. So when we first came up with it, I don't think we realized how much bigger and how much more of an impact it could have. We just kind of ran into it blind. We got a lot of support. And then as we started getting out there, and I think our first big tournament that we went to was the 804 last year. And we probably had 45 or 50 people there, had all the tents going. It was awesome. And, that coupled with the production value of the 804 really, I think, opened up everybody that we brought out there, opened up their eyes to what this could be. We came home with tons of medals, and it was, I know we got warned by some of the refs because we were getting loud and rowdy. It didn't happen on any court that I was on, but I definitely heard a couple of people say, hey, we got warned because we're getting, rowdy out there. And it was a very cool experience. So I don't think we had any idea how big it could get at the time.
804 Open seems like it was the origin point for a lot of things, for
Yes.
a lot of people, include ourselves in that. We conceptualized that tournament, and then due to the help of so many, including you guys, that happened organically a bit over that weekend, it became a big thing and attracted attention that it's become this thing and now that thing in Roanoke. And you mentioned you went home with a lot of medals, including the gold for Tim and Derek in men's open doubles, which was a tremendous story, led to our sponsoring them, and ultimately led to this. We're not really going anywhere other than to just remind ourselves of the rapid nature of the roadmap. And you and I have, Tyler, discussed, what having a facility like this might mean for the Ruckus, which is what I'm really excited for. And this just popped into my head. Ruckus Fest, when you were talking beer and wings and pickleball and a facility. Let's pick some dates, man.
Absolutely. I think that would be awesome. It is cool how fast everything is happening at pickleball. It's neat seeing how it's almost like you're watching the birth of the sport happen. I know it's 40, 50, 60 years old, but it's happening and changing so fast. So cool.
I want to also kind of take a look at the overall picture of what Roanoke's trying to do with that area, with the Sports Spectrum area itself. What do you think, or what was kind of the main argument that, if we have a pickleball facility, it's going to add something that maybe you, as a city council, weren't even thinking about a year or two ago, whenever this project started for them? What does this bring to what's already being established in that area?
So I think for me, it solidifies Roanoke as the epicenter for Southwest Virginia and, the lower part of West Virginia and even part of North Carolina as the epicenter of pickleball in the area. We already today have lots of players coming from the New River Valley every single day to play. We're pulling people from West Virginia, and as our reach expands, we're just getting more people from all over. I think having a central place that we can have real tournaments, because we've never had a real tournament out here yet, and I'm excited for the opportunity, that's what it's going to be about. We are going to be the place to be.
Yeah, the emphasis in that statement, Tyler, is on yet, and as I wink at you, you know why, because we've got some news coming in that regard in the next couple of weeks as well, but we like to try to incrementally release these things. So Tyler Reburn is with us, co-founder of the Roanoke Ruckus. Take us all the way back to the beginning, man. I know that you mentioned your son there. He was down here playing in the Pickleball Resolution. He's been a big part of the evolution of high school pickleball in that area, which, again, as the game just continues to grow and evolve and get younger, you've seen that explode in that area, right?
Oh, it's been outrageous. So my son Connor is a junior at Salem High School, and he started the pickleball club. For their first meeting, they had 90 something kids show up. It was outrageous. And to be clear, that was more than we had show up for the initial meeting for the Ruckus. And then we have other high schools around us. We've got William Byrd has a really good and developed program, and a lot of those kids are getting really strong. We've got Roanoke Catholic. Cam Cassidy is out there doing a great job developing those kids. I know I got reached out to the other day by Hidden Valley High School. They're trying to start one up. I mean, every high school around us is really pushing hard for this. It's cool to see. Very cool.
With that type of structure already established at the high school level, do you envision, or could you picture your facility in Roanoke being one that maybe in the beginning even caters to that audience as opposed to maybe the general national demographic? I don't know what it's like in Roanoke to play at rec level and be out there, so it sounds like the student level, the middle school, high school level, they could benefit from this just as much as those in their 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah, so, what we're seeing with the high school players is it's a lot of kids trying to figure out what the game's about. There's some that are, playing, having a good time. And my son started playing with his cross country team. They just goofed off out there, had a good time. It was something to break up the time for them. So that's how they started. And then some of those kids have gone on to get really good. Connor's getting really good. And then same thing when out William Byrd. I know those kids are bringing their paddles to school to play. And they're playing right after school. I think they're taping up lines out on their tennis courts out there. Some of those kids, Andrew is coming out there to the challenge courts out there and doing really, really well. Yeah, it's been really cool.
I love that because I actually saw that in Florida once. I traveled down there, and they were They got out of school and they walked over to the pickleball courts and played. And I had never seen that, but clearly it's making its way to our area.
Oh, without question. Same thing here in Richmond, same thing nationally, which is fantastic. And you're right, Joe. That is as we're about to also unveil our summer youth programming and after-school youth programming here, leading into this summer in 2024. And then, of course, the possibilities in Roanoke and beyond are endless when it comes to that and the creation. Well, Tyler, we so greatly appreciate you walking. People haven't seen behind the scenes how impactful you've been to us as we've made decisions and given us honesty, which is what you need when you're going to go in and take a leap like this. We appreciate that, but I do have to let you know I took Tim Cass's Performance Edge Clinic last night, so I'm finally ready to get a game in with you.
I got to ask. So this is something I've seen on pickleball brackets a lot. How do you and Lee manage to play together and not kill each other?
We don't. In fact, the other day showed up, I'll say, a little bit lethargic, and by game 2, I screamed partner switch, and by game 3, the relationship had soured a tad, but we still got Roanoke up and going. So.
That's awesome.
No, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you, and obviously this is just the beginning of many, many conversations.
Absolutely.
Next time.
Cool. Thanks, y'all.